Túréití he?
Cehultu.
Ó dótí sa bíharm, gus mu gon méid úrdear a bhí má dúirt mé nó dúirt mé leis sagas do mána heite sagat marú óharú héna gáire, Feidir thulachan, nó díar sem. How do you feel? I said, physically, I say, internally, I say, I feel good, but structurally, I said, I don't feel too good at all. Oh, I never heard that word before. He said, structurally. Well, I said, you heard it now. I saw him the other day buying groceries like any longshoreman. He's in plain clothes now, you know, all of us. Yeah, met him over there to showers.
Do you think you can sit over there? Sure. And Jim, I thought maybe I could ask you a few questions, as I was earlier, in Irish about
Gaelic, yeah.
If you'd like maybe to start, I'll ask you the question. Ken would a dimitu asaidin, Kechanyacha to Queenstown, KV lad, Kuplerud Mushin. So taso me nish Jim, I'm going to a name.
For me, I'm Costi Canoe Maran Roba. I was for me all the way the Costi Canoe train were there, huh? Stack, Stack, Cork. I was for me as Cork to Queenstown.
I was going to a mod. Ken sort bad beyond
Santa Cecilia beer in the San Chiagum. And you know, near Manana White Star, or near Manana Lego, Santa Cecilia Magata Bregar.
Ken sort bad beyond bad more, Ken sort.
We see luxury. Can't go war, yes.
Hanish lad.
Was on Yak Mushan water Yogudi Shen. He must just have gone to church, and he could have a maha. I have some mile at 9 o'clock to knee, you know. Go to year after that. Never in the lads. Jerry just strict with the cart, of course, with the idea cartaco. I've been to turn you ball football.
Modern Shin. Cechi ratu ar mad, ratu tin.
He must, cheese farige, more on other ways. We may homes more and better fog no or near me 20 nor hike me mark, we may hugos off nene jeexilum we may. Ach, tattoo alone somewhere there had her coyert. Tatules transjerigus niet dunne be a kind land. You loro dunne be you take dunne be ke who's these ye sagas ke for la khaner burjara. Folk shet tam father on so sloro some ke dunne be burjara. But I shet tam no to strange tid wegnak marsin dia tatu transjeri hu just marsin heen.
Agus ceir de chur de cheanna chead láí of hachtamach go dtíon tíirse. Cean fá erimithu.
Well, ni we ha over in yeri mornya ha gasatri na America. Ta ya monche ne heden hall assassin go over nishe go ta she the tried less satri ta she das balak less assassin. Han no year bull assassin you see bor go brachi.
Ach en sin Jim na a hánig tú isteach an seo cannot ir hánig an bád isteach.
South Boston. Army base.
An gumrin tú ar sin, ceir de bhíán, cén sort áit de bhíán.
Ha, ní och mar an ól sa bíham.
Ligo isteach ar a buinte hú ra immigration.
Ó, vegan dó ar chyn doctorig mar tiar ha. Fi doctor tjön et breha dot fiakleben, bana kan er bara hända broga ju. Geväxer redan skärden sort. Vi har inte hemma kulumse.
Agus nu a hánig tú an ál, réon duna leit.
Vi tror hur kommer här lång. Vi ser was in was cheer show. Like me machen gelegen. Die ben je dan wel armpen wie me very best for me. You're a goal behind. You're man dan wel een kant dan de bimmer jara. Dat is strange sherry. En ja, misschien ja, de laatste jaar hebben we een school lopen voor de voetbal. We zijn mee.
Agus ceir de cheap tú nar a tháinig tú isteach an tíir se, nar a chanig tú Boston agus Portland agus na háte.
Wel, we har Portland met jou.
Right.
We John. Bossy witchen ta alweer nog en bossy master na.
Ach, aan tú cúpla ihe Maston nó an neacha tú go Portland?
Hoing me as near stop me be master naik me op. Hoing me de man show like in hoing me in Boston. Je me dan ga je was nog aan het. We dan was nog roos in een beetje.
Ach, nar a tháinig tú an seo, cem tachar a bhí tú an seo sul a bhuair tú obair? Bhí tú géintse chum
Beidir 16.
agus ceach a bhuair tú an obair an seo?
Me Sean o Creoan hang fast dacht de tí kultuurs kan green han goed check op there. Agus ní ahain aber in American Ocean. Ní ahain aber sugar satal in Winyahi she the stacks of Google really. Tatal hit on number 1936 to 37. Ní mar an a heat depression. Troch aan de depression. Nou ik mis hem Bhín siad go hulk, really. Bhí go leor périas nach ra gobar.
Ach, ní ra tú ach seachtain gan obair nar a tháinig?
Sinna méid.
Cén neacha tú gobar a táimse?
Tá mé gobar muiche ar fálastáibh nó ar ceanna goráidán. Chonaí ham de teo. Bhí John Maloney ba an súpar but úsáid sé go mag Hugad ar obair umsa, plenty. Yeah, bhí, yes.
Cén sort pie a bhí agaí an táimse?
Oh, it's 80 cents an hour. You're $1 an ocean. You're Medach unions ní bh hain fáí fós agus. Sé union runní pie really. Dúirt a police in nóta. Trelawney Building Jim Brown of Cornamona the Jersa, you were here for your horse, August. You were Tadiago, $100 the Jersa, $27 a week with the Royal Nilsen, the police, Portland.
Hamish, more as taught in Portland and Thompson as
We in Bailey into the showy, Agus Connolly, Connolly, Agus Coron, Agus Nimble Kieran. Agus na cúlán, bhí gormsán, mór an muinte chuna mar le bías mór an canta chuna mór an lig viidir ar an móna sa bhí beganach hí na seoí cena muinte chagam sa mar deartha. Na seoí.
Gerbasiad.
Bías canta chor na móna as na cric, haint na seoí as na cric. Crocodile bhí an tú. Creedy agus viidir a caiinte Creedy muiste gunta sé even. The Creedy bhí acu seantír. Dan bhór dú heoia thug sé dú snéan tanm thug sé as sa tíosan bhí thug sé dú heoia chast. Danam siad an tíosan níon na seoíocht. Ma han wahid war shoyach bhí ainte. Bhí mise muinte ag na seoí mar dearag. Báí fegan na seoí sagarta bhí an, tamí seoíoch, báí bh bhí sé sin cóige chu séisiar am le bhí anam.
Éon duine as Cornamona an Thompson nach ra béir leige. Nuair a tháinig siad amach an seo dasach, ra daoine an nach ra mór an béir leacham.
Okay, Gary more on a beyond leg. We go to Marco. We go we can't in a dyke more yes, more on the heart. we town Gaelic, so Janderson died. Gaelic fear over the red. Gaelic very mahavi on top. At time I cap go low for time I cap go me do shed come as Kiri hang shed. Oh, who's should be out of time I cap outlaws. I think they were outlaws and they were driven out. Yes, sir.
Whole to country of far of Insha Duffy, you know, Galway, a huggedy shit.
Pat said to a bossy hall, what I should know. He owes my hammer. I was Tom, you have got Tom beyond.
Care Basia.
As the Cantus and Hank Mish as. Oh, my, you get Scully cane. I mean, I get cap public cane here in Mission. We show Rome's a father.
Shin a hole of it.
Which I know with your
Hole me got a skelter galorek. Got a far air skelter agus jokes agus kind machine.
We shan skelty we on. Half a log on a skelter show near on to a Ramoshka. He fresh and with your near now my cap and on the skelters in an Laura Rio.
Hole to ein Kiana. Hole to the skelters in Rio.
Hole me. We make get your clover fab my heel. The shine skelters in.
Ken a skelter beyond. Gumni to an ish, Kvis na skelter.
Hier hang er maar aan, de shine skelter. We shan over on a cook, ach, you're more on we manum gur bay, genius scale, walk Namara. Tamas, ni he Mike Crane, genius scale King Canter dash Mac Namaras, we shall rub on the shan, Nadini Sever, the third Arigan Dini Bochter, and the Malay near Remisha Hainfalla. He couple like Mac Namara, I was. My capo my as Canter Ruscomana Hank Macnamara Shillim. I was sure to be on outlaw, Major. I robbed the rich and feed the poor. We met, we Ruach Macnamara was a sheer Tivuchrik, Tivuaskin Jackson, we shan. We shall walk us read the creek to Charam to Murjera. I thought I said no board. He know I was watching Stach, Tiu Conamara, I was one shag. Eagle Hogus we can't and we know police in the year. I was we bought. Da my couple go be hen over on board. He said to him the loch agus was a gleam as a couple agus Russia she's table cricket was as a mod agus number same board as Cornamona Kong Sheville agus Khulid Chef Hadas agus Khulid Chef Hadas Jaga couple agus nóra bhfuil sé go Kang hí mar deartha an polaí a fáint leis agus tháinig ce capal agus fóg sí agus ar a buinte fóg an capal le hití marú agus sna náitir fóid mac na bara a brísún, chudú brísún mac na bara a héimar de an láisin. Scale, scale, chapel, walk na mar hugger.
Is keger sin. Keger sin. Keger hotuation.
My kind, Sean Michael Kine, Mikey Kine vied.
Is kerashin.
We say he said T Whiska coming down, not to willing high rise in the Shachaman Avenue, Sin áitir sé fá idir fá nuasan chu dús bag béir ó Cumberland Avenue mar deartha. Mikey Cain tab Marklish, the school teacher at Chow, he had my big accent again. Johnny Cain, he's a school teacher, he's retired now.
Agus céir rugu Mike.
Sagan Circadian Night Mishas, Cornamona.
Ach cén áit go díra, cén bailen ó cén.
Glan Duchta.
Agus céir basú héin.
Has Baris Kadoch, Chiriniya. Tabiak Thomas Nakashan, school teacher of Yana, Chira just a refugee fano, father on it, Tabiak, Shanghai go, Shan, watch the skull of Yammer Jarha.
Kéishin.
Thomas Branachvier, who do Hogmudi, Thomas Noklashet, which at a tag on the first and second, third grades, because no rise to third. So forth, I have a start of Shahai. That's the principle, Major.
Ach, a farsa Mike Cain, Rugalor Skelteke.
In the Shan Skelty Fierige. One of Skelty Vegan, I big Farson, not is a kind of Galia. You're a man Skelty Galia, we Shan over on a couple of orange and a major near the Skelty, Vig Shan. Why kind? We might kind be shin and far, my kind now Galia.
Agus came up with a bit Mike Cain.
He said, you know, construction should have made for bocht.
Ní Russia a longshore.
I happen when I say she's longshore Rio. Why near got be a Gaelic, you know, longshore bag on Debris Galia money, he Jack Maloney. If Gali after Ardu Poya, fire all Jackie after 20 years service.
An gymni to arrange scale other like Mike Cain. No en rodella vich shera.
You know, Sagabarin scale Hoshen, Din scale couple Ross a couple walk the Maragum, Shiname, Rugger scale Tiga Rumsha.
Agus mich sé lauf Gaeilge nó Béarla.
Vi sé an dá láide nach rás. Béarla agus céide níor sé mána nordi sin agus níor sé mar an de 90 pounds mar deartha. Dá mai capan há sé céad pound ná ferin bag a bhí an.
Cean uair a tháinig sé amach.
An an rá bhí sé seo fada craig bhí family got na scoilid seo ná na haig mise. Never hin nan raw ken walk in and she nature some couple.
No, vi tora gra shan oran e kujako. Gumni to hen ken na horan viako. As an gantershen, as Cornamona. Na horan Gaeilge. Groot wen oran sa tíir en oran Gaeilge.
Ní hos ní ruch. Ní chuna an Gaeilge bíte tíir seo. Smúna casú tána héad ní amsan in New York mar deartha. En áitiú léir hí mis go ré an bhegóis in New York ná bh me go New York, Rockaway Beach, hí me go me startó blas a bhíánach éach í lig. Ní rah muintear Portland, bhil ní rah mór an éach í Portland ar a bumar deartha, ní rah muis.
Ach, an gymryd to ein oran a hánig as de cheantar. Oran Gaeilge.
Ní bhain an folach ní
Cean tainna a bhí na hóran.
Ní bhain an rába na hórán Gaeilge ar a beth ní chuin na iad a rá mór an. Bhí sé cappa gur nóir a bhí mis me leid a gláindí sé cain céad go thóir sé old-fashioned not. Bhí mé trinning agus sí párice ó cain sé a bhí an school teacher, an sé sa gantar céin scat Jersey Lamson here, the Gawahik Park, Akbasi were Warishe Henshi, Goracha, Herbig, Vishara Lamson Yelena, Gaelic, Jersey, and Alien smooth. Well, there know what is the Galia whole my can't get it. I said, don't make a lace. You know, I can't really get the master flush and know what to go Galia. And that I'm how kind craig and I them, you have this could not last Italy honey too. Need more on you more on Greg behind here in this. Neil.
Ach, whole to the vi misje vannacht door bij het groot met dat in enkele Maine vi misje vannacht.
Maine?
Ja, vi misje agus vi oran viagach kan sin oro vile gra. Goede twin gaan ook in die. Moest je zo oro vile gra. Faris kamas hier de stroper really fwin a law. Moest je zo oro vile gra. Town of Lean's my native place not far from Stranaha. Ruddy Marshin. Sort, you know, the source of pain, will I say?
More on
sort Ramesh.
Whole me store begging them to hack begging them to hack country show hold a whole men Toransion, Tor Villa Gra.
Airport on Chai.
Well, me chen Gachali was T was special, was country special be around Toransion. To some Karama and Gama. Is the Capagani, Kanya Handy Paris was a Rockwam on a chain. I know the Dutch and Father Mihig, she saw Lumsa. I just said, Delphi Bill, Father Brad, whoever, sort of executive on. No, the Hashes sent Patrick Maha, just a good talk, Martin Luther, can you start? Yeah, Not a harsh dear Patrick. The truth and Patrick out and brought Martin Luther King in the Jerusalem. As Jesus, I says, let's go down and try and get them. The girls almost fell on the floor laughing, you know, that's the counter.
Jim Victor Allen Brook Garcad as a spidgel, I guess we in Toran Shineki or a Villa Gra.
We more on Holia, Nega, Holig, Lemon Lynch with the Nantoran Shonra. Begging them hard country shows the whole man Toronto, you hold my hollow near you and Torantion.
Ah, Kekir Hoto and Chai cannot.
We just saw here Brahmanage and the night in the evening after Jera, Western Promenade, or some young North until they got Hollow was aiding.
And I guess care the Vituani and Unchin.
We may go and yes, Nagar, we ban Banachali Hagamachin. Yeah, they happens to. He said, you said that we said, come on. In Galway, yes, sir. There are men mentioned. We had a go back and jam run Target more could yourself. I guess see said touch job on the yoke of Russian jam showed the millionaires. With the idea in the Galway, I said, you have go back up. We said honest. Very honest.
Roast na Connolly latri of Ken sort of the Vidi Shiama, Russia Kua or Kujaku, Bejul Kujaku Gamas, Bejul Kujaku.
No, you could say Bejul midnight. Here, I got my huge invitation, just talks to Chagas, Coponte, no, Cavi or Roichicos. We said none, we are do Aku on John other couple of good friends, Horchestach, the Coponte and it, I'm a bake. Tabak and Gahouse and lumps the shin, yeah. Ach, Neil done a bummerson, Nishon, Neil done a big catamaha,
Shin up with a big Namra and Thompson is story, Namra Hanek
housework, my dear, I got but coconuts, sweeter, you said good cook and brachi, you know, regular housework, my dear, cleaning and taking care of the kitchen, making beds and stuff like that. Housework, how would you say? We used to go over Tisti Hagana.
Ah, a me, you should go over Hulla Loss of Tachten.
She didn't go to make and loss of Tachten. How would you say in Carol Law and could go log on Tachten now? Aku level mach. Gardine hug die said Thursday.
Agus ceir díana dis an lásin.
Well, we just court ya take dini good dini monster hammer dear ha made ma monster ha ko ha you see you know call ort per dear ha sni ja. Ach we just paar lopen wacht hier bramanade Francis na bochel na na bochel we have moet je hier aan nog liggen voor kruisheid. After dan gaat nummer al maar dear ha will sad.
Ra chuide gan ra ra sé de fáilt am crua gobar gan daine ra chuide gan daine sin bud sa cinál.
We could we need better would have said near the house guest of like can't on the garden said better near us more on Neurotic care radiator na stop machine with your howl saga you know what I mean high on dog scale clenchstad but the only fashion you're in your be here in scale one that way na go was said we could you kunan buddy focus was ni sabel hina hodelekos ne
Ra jokes agi fwy na rudi a harla beidir na a hánig na chalín isteach dasach.
Well, we said no, she never know the high shit. We should just show. She didn't. There was no kind of door. Can't hear Martin Curran. We Vanage, Margaret Floyd. Actually, that's our like bossy. And she was a good no, like Monsieur. Just what was that they used to go up and down, used to carry the
Dumbwaiter.
Yeah.
The dumbwaiter.
Dumbwaiter that took cart. Agus dúirte vanity le go goirití an stop a dumbwaiter gon go bhagad agus and they've been dumbwaiter news like maggot so chalón down care then dumbwaiter tá meid te dear maggot níos le bhfuil fáil leis dumbwaiter hí si gur fear a bhí an Can't find nothing to do. Snowed in the because tan don't wear t-shirt. You're always having a gel maggot care don't wear. You're always a coin creator. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, we love you. We love you. Nachlaw say. There is big dog or hog. She hope the binacles there were. Had to get on the scale to tune. A hardly. Not either. Cover this over from where Spáin siad a le hórt agus tugus siad anna mar a le hórt bí sa teach mar de raibíteach go má na rásid na gacha le sort clan felliméí mórtaí mór an bhíán tú le níach siad níra na an bhile bhór réh go chuidir a módiad am lá clia most go chuir mé héon chuindir sa teach mé sé go méach na déag sin chuidir a módam gúinstá me Door check mag Amerika. Tell mag Amerika is that what you go to they thought that you could take it back yourself here and you would over there you know when you started rambling around it was dangerous.
Amish what do you can we a has she the teach the mag Portland it does as the chanter. Hoort u die kent in a haneke mache dassie. Nu ken u a hasse shit haar.
No de haneken we had them gregig is fresh no de haneken pleit geheen en famine.
En drochheel.
Ken blien aan drochheel wie samen te ken.
1846.
Shin nu after snen tam het de keer. Wie faren masten. Wie aan nee nach in masten. Wie shan nee nach Johan zet ik op Boston hollen dan ze jaren beach. Nis kasu faren om ze. Sanaram said to be on doctor, regimental sergeant to be on. Oh, they just said them say, oh, you might have more to just say, Mach, as a shine cheer, just say, for a mark, Jay, just say, not much say, Gersh at last, because me broke Kenny Echo. Han said the Mach after the famine with their house. Where we drach, said enough, we bought, or said bought, with their Beha, that's Boston, with Boston. Bad Beha noon, we bad, we need any boss, you know, why you bad, no, only a bad gun, so go on hall. Action in Tamma, honey, share the mark, KB, we 8 mile dini, she shines here in Amsterdam in Drahil, because bossy will ya. Bossy for carry million, 4 million bossy will yeah, because Shane Dora has a share of Kierta Makan, didn't know when cheer so sort law, immigration law, lay the horse and market show. Then time I had to share of Kierta Mak after the famine, near you, Leon Kenny, being the organ budget.
No, whole to the scaled of when the Dina Hanukkah Portland. Can we have a share that go with so long shore? No, Cafe Forship, Cafe Worship the Stach so long shore. A whole to end with machinery.
Call me mush. We Uncle Dumps for said charter as for said for the longshoreman charter on state of Maine, state charter, American state of Maine, Labour charter on state of Maine. I was said the Portland longshoreman in the Hayden impression, who said charter over, working charter, but when you said sort good poi hain. I was say still here a charter, hunting business charter, we say Munkle, to copy on charter night in that the ladies in here. We say see a charter, no colour, blood allowed in your ranks. I was in 1918, 1920, we Dort den Kentland Munkle, come me hot to look on your act, for second yak, because we fell in New York, because you used TV or Connolly, we said the head of the New York Longshoreman, ILA, who it is, International Longshoreman Association. I was told by for say in Bruno, the Portland Longshoreman, Jackson ILA, because for saying Poi came the offer, we New York Poi. Torch offer. The session in we in charter as a state of Maine hike and charter August Shahira no Portland Longshoreman affiliated. We in charter as still state of Maine charter, but they come affiliated with the New York Longshoreman affiliation, they call it.
Agus Jim, there are to a dasach we to a mildal, ach canu a hot to stachs along shore.
Oh, we say near 33, 34 shilling. When my up, first staff in May 1941 or 2, my dear.
Ach, right to along shore revision.
Hold on, now, Mason Aram, we. Took $100 a month and we're reaching niche. Shin, Mersin, you when you're all a hundred.
Ah, can sort up at a vehicle should be on there along shore.
No, we want to go back crew, really. We said, we come, we board, we Canadian, we floor, who said, lock plurich out 6,000 or 7,000 tons. Beide gemacht gober hat am nan ha gemacht das Maß hat Handtruck ist ja gut King Gawali at a tan truck agad. If you look good at all to me, have you truck on. Don't put a good truck on down the hole. They saw you anyway lively thought that give you that hand truck, you know. Well, but working is good exercise. We don't force yourself. Forcing is bad.
Ken sort cechi me sé maidin. Ra tú sísan sin agus mech scata agí a fanach le chéile nó cechi Russia, ce Russia be gobar le chéile.
We chuile fála ví some maid ví basacó. Shot very jig. Gang agus is. Agus ví fína cear go wasna agus amach ó chaidís Gaidís ólas maithí bhachar talaidís a gobad ó chanerid. A chaidha sa union le gobad lofa. Riad na lang seom, hí chur na lang seom na gobad. Hí union a chairana chun na fyrir gobad mar deará, nó a teas a union. Chaidha ala teas a union, this is lanya how to gobad.
Agus
hí sé $50 is teachan an freisin.
Bhíoch mech se be gobar le chéile sin.
Hí,
Scata ceanna chud a lá.
Mar an jankchéí gána, bhíoh jaingé bhíoh ceanna chuga jaingan i bhíh chuga jainge bhád sinna agad si más Mantrí Hall mar deartha tá gá plúra seo. Ní rá sagan sa cear an plúra gail, beidir go sé go go South Carolina, maybe go sé go beidir go sé a plúra tí agad, a beidir go tuise díhan na plúir. Nova Scotia agus Mantrí Hall City.
Agus cean tá maidin na bhíocht se bh tasí.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, 8 go dí 5 chuig, straight time.
Agus lunch agé nó?
Ó bhí. Dó go chlog bhí lunchach, dó go dí 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and uadach like lunch corner. Agus san níhi sin rathasteach 6 o'clock, bhí go leor overtime an mar deará, sna an an fáid ór. Bhí fáid bhán hí hí siad díchas sin $1 an uair, $1 sagan san nach nach Yeroin for you, near nest of the Kayo. That was just no one cash shiny than everything and paid a broker out a $100 per less scale. And you have $5 a lot and $10 and now we do not call you Eddie and a fresh and murder. I would have said he down for you go by and this town, Holy go my freshen.
Ceachú ar na Bosnaí, cé na Bosnaí bhí ad? Ra siad crua ar na féad?
Bhí siad slénéis na cuidiúháin le hú dreiháil. Bhín dólar hú dreiháil bhí in na bildálachaí. Bhí fagad John Phineas around Clifton agus bhí sé go mágam agus my brother John. Bhí sé anhágam. Bhí that cancer rounds down that Clifton behind Shay Feeney, Shauna Feeney. Name was John Feeney, and he used to go to Mantrí Hall, H.H. Mantrí Hall to Sauro. We said the Gobble Company came in the boy Jack Mantrí Hall, Lord all to Sauro, because found she had no such thing ever. Lord, I'll be up Mantrí Hall freeze out them, but you're on you, we none of us jack me out there and snapped to the shook. And you just none of just none of us jack in the border locked the one.
Bhí tú agra chuid go na Bosnaí crua?
Bhí chuide go, yeah, with the ignorant, sin na bá, sin na maid, and you're a féna mar sin. Bhí féine na an cainte le chuid fear mar dearad. Rastú cainte leis fear, stála sin námhacha dá raibháil. Na tú fear a dráibháil níos go táda faoi na bud éon.
agus na fir mé chuid acu a dína gasce gur siad láidir nó mé sort cumórtas siúl.
Bhí sé do gíanú gáiste agus bhí sé do trodí héalaí, hí na héadní gáinú trodí héala, chu láit neatha mé fuair méid hí do trodí héalaí. Níor díos fearlam sí ag do sé tána héadní troid cháil sa seandíir, áidirms ní a healda cáilí chuil dúnta seandí, had ar a trodí sa stáit pástrú deirm sé. Ní a chailta go nógu seandíir ag ar a troid.
Ach, mé chuid acu a ggéir a haspáint cecho láidir is a bhí síl.
Ja, hí fid bra láidir fresná gon dáta bíte, Tá mé cappa go chuide go near san hála sin chuna i chláinna chunéala go má. A fí trám deasa go bharsá.
Ceapé Rashid dína gasce nó cean sort...
Ché chun farbár, trodítár, Peidir é sé decha mar héad gobe go san níhí go maithe troide go héine gan ná dó go a nó séart a bhí anna créúir. Bhí mar gon chuiscí gón sin sé chuiscí bhí ceanún troid.
Rashid a ggóil nar a bhí
Bhí sé a ggóil nar a bhí sé gobar anna bhí sort alcohol gin wat an nuair an fresin agus hín alcohol hí prohibition agus ní gheart. Prohibition was bad. Anna bhí dó go whiskey ceart nó a spás níráige hí an Italian a hort nó a seos hí sé tú ar ND State é hápfu. Bhí é cappa amach seat whiske chu gur sé áráideach hí sé mistake mór na créúr. Bhí sé de lig gól. Man nóáú fan jool job hiú go dí seoit ach ní mis an. Dó me ní hena whiskey dí lemsa. Tó me bír, dó me góchan gon bhíach níró mé an whiskey ní ráin hí bír an lemar lensúr dear hánig bhfuile. We were down to Professor Connolly's every night.
Cean áte sin.
He says he's at a chuneal Congress agus Centre.
Teachósta be.
Se Professor Connolly, the bhí na bear an fascailteú mar deartha. When mé nún bhirta mar reimiise, when mé nún ag doctor. Ranigan, is it? What's his name? That doctor, he's up there. Oh, I think, God, I remember you, Jim Brown, you used to come down to my father's bedroom. Where did you for the girl that come up to examine me? What's that doctor's name up there?
Not Monkhouse, no?
Oh, no, he's up there now on Pine and Warren Street, I think. He says a shanty. I just tell him to near Hanny shanty. Hannigan, is it, or something?
Yes,
You had to shanty them to just tell them, so, well, I did him say, shanty now, while they hid him, and you have a good show. They have with your film. We say, God, Bell, of course, you know what I mean. When you saying that a trip, I noticed. Yeah, Presser was a nice fella. Presser Connolly was. That's it, there was Shop Kelly was down below, but you go down there and there'd be 4 guys there watching you. If you below a $10 bill, they'll try to roll you. Be crowd the chin fresh and no canyas and he's the chin. He said that you'll whiskey. You'll have a hort, but I can't get pot in this.
Ra éon duine rinne chuid héin a bhí díana patíú réon rud mar sin an.
Bhí an an in Beíana ach ní heapin go réin a ní sé bhín an in chuisce láidirí anna ní sé an sin bhí dá cheannacht a dí steach go Boston na áirtas moch has Boston big carny more a profession I wish had a bootleg God in a maid.
Jim, Bhí muid a caint na scealta bhí ag Mike Cain. Thó tú héin caint riamh Finn McCool agus na daine sin, a bhís na seanscealta. Finn McCool agus na Fianna Éireann, nó Eisín. Nar a bhí tú beag ag Somáile. Bre daoine an a bhí go maith gén seo scealta an tamsin. Nar a bhí tú an beag.
Hí a caintear Finn McCoolach ach ní éad nach a bhí na mai capan nach a séad na háid Finn McCool. Hí a caintear a sin as tíad na hóige.
Cean áitir chó tú faoi?
Ní sagan go bástabeach sean scéaltóir an sean bháiste scoile bhí an ó cúbhí ag Finn fadó dear sé bhí Finn McCool Finn McCool is cúbhí ag Finn fadó nech réige sé ach tá mai capan nach sé go ligach an erid. Bhí mé tam geri bhí mé chola sin bhí mé gur isteach go ban an róba cheanna me mo chár héin mar dear hí san níos éascí nábhatha hailá charaníú na deil sin bhí hála sinach bhí máiste scoile selamsa bheith tú náid sin dear selamsa feice me dearimse ag go maithe ó dear sé bhí troidir sin dear sé 500 bliain rib Iste Christe. Ke vi trajan emse before Iste Christe. Her say bearled. Can my one grega hold me can the bonnen. Saves the straw. There was took. They were fighting in a you should tragic head quick head dead. Or we just can the bonnet. Pun quick now pun yeah. Let's say we tried to go. Honest. Yes, sir. Când ne Gaelic, când de acolo, când de uio, beidur tragi hele. The battle of Matura, how could you say? 500 years BC. So they've been fighting for a long time.
Nu hoor toe country, bhí tú beag na Síoga. Méach na sean daine caintear
Bhí siad, yeah.
Ceir do chóil tú fóga?
Ní rá bhíoh mo dí gáir fóga nó deagí Síog, níar buin danin. Bhí an seindir am a capú go ráhach níachas a bheith dís ceat san íthú má ceat bhhaí ó dís ná Síog háte go na bimar deartha. Ach ní rá níor séad ná ní scialtaí fiar bhí an tú níor bheith. Ní mór an scialtaí fiar bhíon gatrach nó go sean scialtaí, ní scialtaí fiar bhí an tú. Tá baoh chuide chu sin freisin nach scial fiar.
Ach an gomíonn tú na scialta bhí acu faoi na Síoga?
Bhí dí a caintear Síoga ach ní na heapú am gur bead na canál Síogaí tá teo. Ní rás a cócead Síog heile capú.
Ach na daine beaga?
Se na daine bheag, se a bheith i dís. Ní hinné chud an gacha leis London agam sé, tá tuiste cainte de sé sean scialtaí bheith seanhráide sé change your life agus heach far a chéinte harta le leabhar áistíú sí agus. Bhí sí teo hín tubuisteí bhí sí náiclí agus bhí sí gáile agus rugu Londoníhar deartha agus níor sí pósteach trí tarna sí díar a póstaí anú dúr seo de ré. Tá cap a gúis sí fannacht té sí siad go nóbh scóise bhaiste. Bhí sí pósta le fear sin. Bhí sí fáta Chap Morrison header again Cathedral and Franklin Towers. Ach we told something. Joe, by God, we should find out the chat town with check castle lemay. Ach a lot of sheogulation which you got it food. Yeah.
Ach roos rod shandine dvihan. Nar vi tussen bjag a raskelteke. Mechtine a kortjacht der gele Thompson.
Yeah, he's against our chance. Well, but Doug must be guilty because he's a Gaelic in a mage, you know what I mean?
Ja,
In a mage.
ach ni weer geen binnen takkestaf van meg. Shandskelteke nu kind der typeshi. Hoort van vakantie typeshi.
We the kind of she August she through the machine. Here if what you got and the gas to it, in a type since focal Shanakal beyond first now. Hoggy Shiogi August type she lay patches here in the gas or all the stacks to chak, which Dorachus Nike. Now, Marone Taishi, you know, each in the Shioga, you were there. Jerry Fatches on the gas your shadow. Hank Nahanam Nahishan Mach. Yeah. I make it this here a bore what 3 o'clock at Majan Javji show. Oh, Kerbas Dan Ketauji show. Who is, yeah, this, you know what I mean?
No, I hoort one fakkel koker hier.
Huh?
Koker.
The pook, yeah. Well, near away, folk in November's night, Hauna. The pook with Hauna, it's in the maid. Cat shut, cat, the village young Hauna. Oh, November's night, what was the day?
Halloween.
Halloween, near on Halloween. Pook, how could you say, Hollis and Kent? Cat the village, you know, we're sort Banshach you go. We should then, when you say, I hear your question. What is it that they used to have November's night now? Was it?
Barnbrack. And you dish kaka?
You really can tell you how you how, by God. You can't even miss it.
Olie, me dish kike olie.
Huh? Shad had to catch ya, always agus orange apples. I have.
Ra ein duine an na Thompson a bhí go má a ggéonseach cé sa tháinig na daoine, cé na daoine seo agus cé na daoine sin ar fáil tú scealta chuí cén drám bhí ionitsa na brúnaí a bheith?
Bhí sé de cainte de animach mar deartha mar sin sean tá éiad an tean. Sean tí éireanú de deartha ach bhí na Danes leis na Danes éireann fad can 14 or something. Bhí go leor tribloid néirí mí altar na Danes agus bhí dar a cainte de Trelawney Castle bhí gachan am hí sin má hána bhí sí thuastar Trelawney Castle dúirt me se leis gur suas an Castle sin na Danes a seaimneanam te sé na Danes ar séad bhí an Cuisleán fort bhí an which is Trelawney Castle ní ha séad bhí an fort was built by the Danes 14 or something, but we geleerd bloed, we geleerd bloed neer in Jacob. We hadden de Danes, we de traditie hele person.
Jim, Brunach wie een tijd nog.
Ja, agus Mahana had we shot me. Mahana had wool we show me Scranton and show. Because goal of Mahasne. The mines of Scranton, maar het moor.
Goed.
Patsy Brown of here.
Agus cén tachar a bhí sé was.
Aqua sé back at East, Cahaden. Agus we Mr. Callahan, we shall was a kind, it's in a gobber in the Brownie, was a New Hampshire, Agus. We did a kind but tatis, Agus, Mr. just said, those Parikins and Napples, and you just said, you have Mr. Machen a half an hour, Kerbassa down in the Brownie, Agus, no, the 4 cent traggers, Prato Jagger, Broken shot, on Tanem is Shinning. They used to go alphabetically, like what is that? It was one of the oldest names, but I think it came from the north of Ireland too, you know. My name did. I was hoping that you could use Sassanakaram. Should I walk here, would you use Sassanakaram? I was Mara may well go ahead and in that way made the work. Ni Sassanaho, you're Valahonum to Kaito Tarjako. Callahan knew the winter say. He knew your people well.
Cake or deep the wide?
Philippine. No, the Philippine. We could.
Kerbassi.
Canter Kenny, Boris Cadamson.
Cannot.
Do, tonight a dine Kayanet, and the Boris Cadamson, yeah. Whether in the we also could heal.
Agus a chó tú riomh cean tanam bhí ar a máthair sin.
Cuián Cain. Cuián. Yes, tears not what is a content ball I can mention as sheer recess major, huh?
Strasalach.
Yeah, Strasalach tattoo card. Cor, that tea here go warm, and I can write more. My hand more, yes, more. Cuián Cain of Vira. Philippine Vir. My hand I had more.
Chóla tú riomh cén slunne bhí aró. Cean tanam bhí a had the wide. Cén chéad anam bhí.
I had more. Philippine. We had more.
Cén chéad anam bhí. Sean nó sé.
William. Liam, Philippine. Your honey Catholic in the Philippines, with tears tight. She could not then, we call you Gerhard, now dance at hall. Your honey said, when she's a bit around war 9 tears so. And then, his small big Agamar, when you had in tears to her below for. Your honey said, got to give her no gun tears, so she know. What ball of who found Somalia were there, innit? Name for Jacob. Near Nyashed, near August and Baladios. Name for smooth and my couple. Your Nyashed Nenach. 4 shirts in a maid, was Niscada Tamils and 4 shirts in a maid. With the Shanjam, we should Hatkin and Banshaka, for suggestion. You should try and marry them up over there, you know. They didn't like to see them immigrate either. They were against that in a way, yeah.
Cén tanam bhí ar máthair tathair?
What a show you. We should munch a hick. We Sean all kind of each Agus Rufus Chase, we Rufus Chase, we War Rufus Chase, Agus Moher, Sean all kind of Agus Moher, Moher, Jiro, the Crevianto. Shoyach, Savianto.
Cé rugui.
Mamayan. Ger to hear Garas Allah chin. We have a ganterson on shed chin. Martin the cricket honey she is. Madame, did you go hello? There's you reaching poster. What's to an in the show? No clinician Mahir can't heal major secret, make a big hotel, nor of a benut. Shed a yam, Shan Jack was a he walked a jersey. Not was she, not was she, no. Very what you got a meter a lot. We should box to Shanty. She'd walk to be auntie. That be a sergeant Shalom sung as chun de bhfuil tháinig go bhóthir. Just in tíad hang tiste just bíon dar a tíad ba bosta sa dánaí. Sné fá dhéanam dar chuim muin nan tá é lení hagann hála dhéanam sné fá haink me bathaideann se agus a dhéanam sin ar a broga bíharm dar a haink me go basan dhéanam sin ar a bhaid broga ar am dhéanam se agus rimis suas a dacmach cúáin de agus thug sé tren langsúm thug sé thuas go black be seach me le broga chuid adam. He say American Legion láidir agus tháinig leid seagam. Dana níor selim sa dear selim sa níor a broga bíartsa dar a tháinig tugann tíor sa níor a deirim se éon brogaram cén dóla bach an tíhhailí bach dochtúr dear sé Jim Brown an cos sa sár sa dána dear sé an cos dar neachí an brogaí bhfuil. Fíoró. Tíos there was to cost a chuidir sé túir sé sin chance con chus develop. Stop sé fear bhí cainte na brógaí. Chus sé na brógaí dúirte sé bhar a dhéú a siúda de sé bud Jim Brown can go without him. Bégin nim deach a bh go leis de dochtúr.
Bhótarí der siad seogaí der siad agus brógaí ar chuid acu. Bhótú sin riamh.
Bhí sort sean scéala sin freisin. Bhí brógaí a chuide chugus bhí cead a bhíar idir amile. Stoc. Chhuala méach ní me an scéalainn se bailach chuir hála sé ní bheith nána se poid chuid díanana dhéana.
An chuir tháinig na seogaí go héidir. Na bhótú sin.
Na seoí?
Se.
Sílim gur Francaí bhí sa seoí, dí Joses, dís agus búrcaí, dí bargós, dana sé an tanim. Na dí bargós, tvarks agus Joses, dí Joses war dar aon tanim go seoíoch sílim. Bhí sean ara seo costí san scéal, bhfuil bhhaid bhí an, bhí sé sean ara bhí an ag bíide seo. Bhí Barum hí sin tú hís nátear daing díhead chas a crantrunk bhí sé sean scéaltaí bhí go mótha sin ní sé sin go leor scéalta dom sa há sé mach de me capún le Columbus. De me cappa gur sé mád céan leis.
Cear basa.
Corca. Bhfuil bhhaid fiú dhéir. Sé pótíag céan tanan se bhí mar a chu bhí na bhean mé mar faoi. Bí as cantar corcaí iad.
Ra mór an go bhaintear buí óhain seo. nó bí muinte na Gaelic go bhóí seo le Borland.
Ní mór an níochan duna bíhes chun déhhaíor a mála seo, mór an chun dé na Gaelic agus bí cantar le siar mar deartha mai as ó Conamona agus an Spidial tháinig é nach bí bhíar a mála sé tá mai capú hó sé gur a báid chuta se neachas sé ar seanháid siar le lách dura. There's there was some fella here, his name was Connolly. God damn it, just said the only thing I saw was rocks. No, it was a good guy, yeah. Don't was here. Did you go back around the rocks and you go, oh, Jesus, oh. Those arguments that Connolly, we had 100, was I know, we check up, she's in the dark, and they let Hannah more. Was she can't on the marm or their house. Ja, geschaut nach rocks. Sierle haun.
Mich na dramlis in a maga fuichede. Muintir Cornamona agus muintir Conamara agus muintir Chasharige. Mich sort.
Hier maar aan de nieuwe kasselee hier die we gedaan voor de show. We zijn traditie hele fressen. We go in Shanjam we gaan aan de shin kebe rod we atru niet wanneer dan roog. Maar dan we zijn niet meer mag she's le how no I'm with you chow more on a clan can't hear.
And sort ruddy vidi shirao.
Oh Joel Sagum. Came for a bar, shouldn't maid.
Ra less anam ne chiaco er chela. Kena less anam na chia viaco.
We for a show the Marcus Schoolers. Yeah, we just can't walk it. Near a miss, we all songs and walks the creator on your job last year were walkers up by that's your star way once in a while they're jock to the major. Yeah, come with the near a more on yes, and we were sending furnished. The boss we had near hand last time a beat to boy pair. We shan animals near to the big kid.
Can far.
He far. He far a shamak, the cool on, you cool on the lie. Who is Francis Lee? There's not a boss where she had that time we are Coleman Lee. You said in the message, okay, Coleman. Jimmy said by the name of fancy name or dear, huh? Sure. Snake sort we could you come or sin push near say carta on edit. You said the big be a head board, he said, so it passed to be, he said, they're in the dark and they shan Lee, Morgan Lee, who you said. Maybe you know him, he used to call him Francis Lee. Christ, his name was Coleman Lee.
Agus vi to game shakam. Gymir could go na dina hánig gas na crick. Gymir is kaint and shot na query viaco.
Oh, yeah, we bedded complicated queer up. Tell bedded beer 10 or 12 queer. Can check on the gas would be Somali Burja, which are going to complicate queer viaco. No, for you could go to gas or no, and you actually no queer. Yeah, said no, yet queer. We might have cost research. And he just got better than a millionaire more just yeah, I mean, those girls like we should that's non Burjara queer scale freshen.
All to kind three of a Gobon seer. We say on and in father. Gobon seer.
Can sort animal be some Gobon seer? Kerder.
She
Gobon seer, yeah.
Gobon seer, she ain't talk a Togyal Bindology.
Huh?
A general Kushlan Vicha. Agus agus a walk. Agus shin scale vi on Deutschland a walk. Hook cracking queerach go. Gun walk. It's Deutschland. Hachter asht agus an cracking agus a luach eke. Agus ni raus a mak kech in yena cheshe. A shin scale vi on. A course gedi hanish gedi garachal sha. Agus vi she an klishte vi an chleigenar. Agus one she an all in fad gun cracking. Agus hook she in cracking a rash ho. Agus hook she in luach ho. So in cracking is luach eke. Ach fi an all in eke hen. Ach shin maken Gobon seer. Near hold to kind of Gobon seer.
Oh, me kan je echt neer als am men aan de kursies kerry. Shan skelig niet. Ik ben nou de kursies er maar links maar aan je ben nou hier zit dan explainer gemaakt en dat het nou hier zit dan kursies ker geen soort de harde zeg geen soort geen hier een soort balivie nou ker dan je zei hier river dan hier ach net ach ker was het dan ik zei
Nu er vol to rev kind er kaljach vera.
Un kaljach vera hoe me kan er kaljach vera yes
Ker de vi rate fu.
we shall I say gor warsi hoe ket blien Os kar waren Gobon sire he vi Gobon sire kan je stakle hier sin freshen was tashi gewoon kun je courage tashi Así como es le Galach Verach. Was she seal father? Galach Verach. Nantana Mogutari.
Cé dúirt é sin?
Huh?
Cé dúirt a rud sin? Chóiltú an seothe sin?
Well, me check my carne by God. Well, me yes. Well, me cosita. We found a good show. Was asking a kid Bliano, more on the Nash. Go for the Galach Verach just seal on Galach Verach hall. Seal Kenneth. Was he seal father when there? Film could be in Shaw for Viacun, Tanimson, a horse, Vera, whole very good berry, very. Berashin and Gaelic very naha. Johnny Berry, and Vera, Berry, the berry, win the berry on, sir.
No, chóiltú, bhí tú óg Somália. Maybe to kind of Grania ni Walya, Grania well. Chóiltúin kind of.
She lives in Grania Whale and she's called the Colleen Bone. Donna beyond the shin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Midish kind of.
Kira Grania Whale, anyhow, you some cannot a Grania Whale.
Tip here, Conde de Galia, because Conde Fuyo.
That, yeah.
Near Chóiltú na Skelta food.
Near Wallace now, you know. Sen sort se chastan a daik mishas near Loro tahana the water Gaelic bellet and Tony Gaelic got a visa chap Mahadigus water Loro you spare the linen your Lord you Gaelic belang le quite has a master Kadafi Shedara Lofahain you Sagan Kadavi Hidara and your Gaelic be having Yahu in the scholar. I have a Lord Gaelic and we Gaelic spare Lord Saskatchewan and Dyke Mishas. I have a Nanwell Gaelic.
Phil O'Donnell?
Phil, yeah, he was. I used to walk with him down the docks. He was. That O'Donnell there, that his father lived in the corner house in Morning Street.
Yeah.
Mike O'Donnell.
Yeah.
I think this Donald boy here, that Mike O'Donnell was his father, and I knew them. They used to live on the same street where I did. The O'Donnells did. Mike O'Donnell.
He just became elected to the city council yesterday.
He did up in Ward 1, yeah.
That's right.
I used to vote in Ward 1, and
Have you seen the Iron Horse at all lately?
I haven't seen the Iron Horse since he retired, like myself. But he's still around, but I never run into him.
He is still around. Yeah. You
But,
still see him up on the hill quite a bit.
He hangs around the hill, they say, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah. His arthritis is getting pretty bad for him right now. Did you know Rufus, you know Walter Joyce, Walter Rufus Joyce? Sir Walter.
I knew Sir Walter, yeah, that Mrs. Flaherty was his daughter. So Mrs. Flaherty was Walter Joyce's daughter. Sir Walter Joyce. Sure, I knew, but wait till I see. I knew Walter Joyce, yeah, but I didn't know much of him though. Sarah Flaherty was his daughter. She died. She had nice kids though.
Did she live up on Morning Street?
She lived down there and down close to Promenade there, one of them side streets of Morning Street.
She only died a few years ago.
That's all.
You met
Sarah Flaherty.
She was at one of the first Cayleys. She has children up there now, Donahue.
Yeah, Korean. There was a young girl there. Korean is, I think Korean moved out here in Forest Avenue someplace.
That's right. She's a Pickett now, Corinne Pickett.
Pickett, yeah. Is her husband alive?
I'm not sure.
Geez, I ain't either. I'd feel off, but I think she became a nurse, Korean did.
You're right, she did.
Yeah, she did.
That's right. And then Mary Flaherty became a teacher. And Catherine became a teacher. All of Sarah's children did very well.
Sarah done very well. Yeah, well, their father was a nice man, you know. I think he was a druggist here in a drugstore down on the corner of Franklin and Middle one time. Mr. Flaherty did.
I forget now, did we ask you last time about a man named Coley Concannon?
Coley?
Did you know, did we ask you about, did you know him? Do you know him?
Yeah, his son, I used to work with his son. He died. He's got his son as priest. I don't know if he went back. He told me that he left the priesthood, and he went driving a truck. Well, there was more money driving a truck than there is in the priesthood. When Willie died, I used to work with Willie, He used to work in plastering. But Willie died here a couple of years back. And that's where I went out to, he was waked out there on Forest Avenue, out there in that undertaker parlour, and I met his brother there, and the brother happened to be a priest one time. But he went up, but he said he was going to go back to be reinstated. I don't know if he become reinstated or not.
Is that the Coley Connolly I was thinking of, though?
I don't think so. I think you were talking about the other fellow, the goat herds.
There was a fellow, I heard that his name was Coley Connolly, and he worked here looking after goats, somewhere out in the country.
It's Scarborough, I think.
Would that be a different one then?
I think you were talking to Jim about that at one point.
I don't remember now. How old, who would that fellow be?
Because I never knew them at all.
Yeah.
But I think Jim knew something about them.
Coley Concannon?
Yeah. Now, this fellow used to be a goat herd.
Would not know.
Here in Port.
The Coley Concannon that I knew, the old man worked on the docks, and his son was, I used to work with his son, him and I used to work together for Blanchard. But they're different men, I think.
They must be.
They had another family.
Yeah.
Coley, well, I wonder who the ones that you're... I have to, like the man in Boston, he was a policeman, Jesus, Jim Brown, he says, you've got to go to a wedding or a funeral, he says, to meet anybody anymore. One time he says, my father used to take us into the old Irish houses in Boston. There'd be a accordion going all day all night. He said, but you don't have that anymore, you know what I mean? It was, yeah.
And just one last question, Jim, again about songs. I was wondering, were there any Gaelic songs that you heard from your area, like whether you heard them here or whether you heard them back home? Was there any local Cornamona song in Irish?
There was a local Cornamona song, but it was in English.
How did it go?
We are the Cornamona boys who stood so good and brave. There was one drunk that made it anyhow, but I never went down.
Do you remember any more of it?
No, I don't. I used to know it, but I forget it now. Malloy. So his name was Malloy, and there was a girl who went back from Boston, got married to him. But geez, they both got drunk on their lands in Boston, and they were only out here a couple of years. I heard when they died, both of them. But they should have never come out here. They stayed the most of their life in Ireland, you know, and coming out when you're... The only time to hit this gun is when you're young. The younger, the better. The younger, the better, Mike.
Remember, he made that song, did he?
He did himself.
Do you remember how it went at all?
Well, no, I wouldn't today. Nobody ever recited it. Yeah, he made it for himself only, I think.
We Are the Cornamona Boys?
Yeah. It was about a Sinn Féin song anyhow. It wasn't an old song. It was just recently.
Can you remember any pieces of it?
No, I don't. That's just the first one I couldn't. They made it about a Protestant woman too that was there, you know. Oh goddamn it, sure. There was a lot of trouble in Ireland over religion, and the clergy had a lot to do with it. They shouldn't. You thought that a Protestant was the devil, but they were wrong. The religions, religion caused a lot of trouble, and it's still the same thing is going on. That's what's going on up in the north. It's the same bloody thing that we had at every place that there was the opposite religion. For Christ's sake, there was trouble, and the Catholics was to be blamed for it. They'd call you a Protestant, a bastard, or a crosser, you know what I mean?
Do you remember, though, Jim, how that song went or what it was about then? Was about the Sinn Féiners?
It was.
Was the Protestant woman mentioned in it?
Sure, it was started on account of her, you know. There were Sullivans
How
too.
did it go?
Well, I never, Jesus, I went to school with some of the boys, the Sullivan boys, but they were non-Catholics, but God damn it, they were nice, you know what I mean? God damn it, I was 4 years in the army and you wouldn't hear nothing at all like that in the army about religion.
But
that change put me on the right direction, you know what I mean? That criticizing religion is ignorance.
in Cornamona, there were Protestants in Cornamona?
There was a couple of families. There were Sullivans too.
And there were Sullivans?
There was.
And they were Protestant?
There was.
Where did they go to church?
There was, oh, they might go to church once a year. I think there was a church there, but it was, they had a long ways to go there, 3 or 4 miles, but there was. Drumsnav. Drumsnav. There was a church in there, what they said.
Ro Gaeilge ag na Protestúna sin?
Ní hapam go mór an ní lá dí sé Gaeilge, no. Bhí Gaeilge cén dí acu bí acan mar dearrá, ach ní lá dís mór an gan Gaeilge.
Súlaháin bhí an?
Súlaháin a chaíir.
Agus céile? Protestúna eile an freisin?
There was Ronalds. There was a family of Ronalds. They were non-Catholics. See, geez, I knew Johnny Rollins, the Cratchits. They were nice fellas. I was brought up with them, and that's it. Never met him today. I'd be, yes, indeed, I would. I'd honor them very much. We should have guessed that some Gaelic go my hackney law, you shall Gaelic, no. You know, you heard this and they tell more, you know, well, Murdut Mele. There's a couple of school teachers to be on. We, Joe Rang was having a school teacher, Hodge, and we see Mona Scully here as a mom. Ach, you know, one leg, you know, do up in that park, how kind, and damn it, Jerem Shiny. You know, while I had Gaelic James, there is a bunch of rats to a mother going on James, you know, while I had Gaelic law, August to Shin. I might have French, August Latin, August, the Mahiki and John Jack, you might have been some Gaelic.
Agus Jim Keshtawan Hilla, I'm going into Somalia, ra guarantee agi, kenna guarantee agi, kenna hannachi erna guarantee egamaida. Ra felamagi.
He Pascal Macan Tweet.
Agus I'm going into kenna hannachi vian, kenna ra park no gari no.
Porkachayach near when, you know, especially, you know, an animal. Want to no. You're much, you're the goodies. Near baptized all you yet. Yet I go and Sagartar here, but Hook said the Mahel, Harlow, Nitchen and Wait, nor for Bishop, she Hook said the king to Wait. No,
Near Bastille Rio.
Near
And Gary Moore, no Gary Bell.
Near Gary Moore, down Gary Bell on her the Marjara. We baile snáis táin do go dtí garí móra sé a bhí an na chuáin as an garí móra go dtí sé ba ní á chuin an garí bháin sna bhád go dtí garí móra
No a crocán an no
hí cric yeah
Kenna han me chuliaro.
Well hí cric in Baladaink mis croc tírinní Da bych Thomas na klas tíri just ra fiati fan fadon agus na sasa na chi was the ho viach na sasa na chi tír viach leor hunting hares agus das na cricket chin agus ligan agus fiati yak machine fian in the time I capo got Thomas na waka Thomas and fiati hanered we had a while hard, Shenvi and Crocan in the year, we croc quarters, we mount cable, you Mananga, her won't cable, we to the second highest mountain island was next to me, you know. There was a lake one side of it,
Can tan weer loch.
Loch Wallach. You say you didn't chat target, go some crook, go snap for when you might go some water in my house and if you fight it up, we made the good act much jack being loch on down. They kept us over the water, we could never swim. And the lieutenants in the army had me down underneath the water down in Cape Cod, and we show you how to swim. They could never, that water scared me. They could never make me swim. I had that fear in me. I told that to the lieutenant. Well, he said, you ain't going overseas. I was the first man they called out to go overseas and load up the officers down in Frisco. I was the first man in advanced detail. Yeah, you ain't going overseas, he says. Oh, Jesus.
A loch in Kechi wash and can tan weer loch.
Wallagulach. Dulach. And in Bala, as in what they call the lake, we say Shanchi, we tashi Shanan Chanaway. Ireland is a very, 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 nobody knows how old it is.
Ryan Owen New Srahan Hart.
The as the creek. Shanay is an loch Marjaka.
Can tan weer na haif na chi. No Srahan.
You hold me shen where you get your one cable. Ach we mount cable, we see an hour down Crochty. I was near a did in Lochag Achan Boha, we crocalenti, well, I go over near you. But I'm Maher and Crocalach, and Crook, we crocan or and Shinnegasano sheer, we shave. Funny to me, it didn't flood the country, but it didn't. The lake was full of water. It was very deep, you know, and the water comes from the mountains, of course. That's what makes lakes, is streams, and rain and streams from the mountains. The lakes makes the oceans. The streams and the rivers makes the lakes.
Well, good meal in my head.
Oh, that I'm glad I got down to talk with you, and geez, I'm glad you come in.
I took bad off there.
Oh no, Christ, no, the old Brasili, I'm saying, stop me, or when they took that hip out, you know, I didn't want to go back to work either on account of it. I told the doctor, I said, their love, I says, to have me on traffic when he says, unless you need the money bad. I told the doctor I own 2 hotels in Van Harbour, you know, and he got damn near fell on the floor laughing, you know. And unless you need the money bad, he says. Well, I says, if I need money, I says, I'm going to sell them for 2 hotels, I told him. So he had a lot of fun with me, you know. He had more fun with